Hi everybody, happy new year, sort of belatedly. Welcome to 2018. I thought I'd do something a little bit different for this video, and rather than go through my autographs, because it's not the end of January yet, so I don't have anything substantial to show you, what I thought I'd do instead is do a video looking at my celebrity meetings for the last year, so all the folks that I was lucky enough to meet throughout 2017, so I thought I'd just crack on and show you those instead. So in January, I only had one sort of celebrity meeting, and that was with Spencer Wilding. Here's me and Spencer. Spencer's probably best known for probably Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Who, and a few other bits and pieces. But he also, in a small part, in some scenes, not most, majority of the scenes were played by a different actor, but in some scenes he did play Darth Vader in the Star Wars spin-off Rogue One. So I got to meet Spencer in Cardiff at the beginning of the year, which was really cool, and that really started off my first of my meetings for 2017. In February, I was really lucky to go and get the opportunity to see some Doctor Who filming. Got to meet Peter Capaldi again. This is about the sixth or seventh time I've met him during the filming of the final series of Doctor Who. He doesn't look best impressed in this photo. To be honest, it was bloody cold. He was absolutely freezing. He'd been filming outside, but he still came over and chatted to everyone, which was brilliant. And as a lifelong Doctor Who fan, it was really cool to meet Peter again. Really hoping to meet Jodie. Now we're into 2018 and get a chance to catch up with her at some point. But not only did I meet Peter, I also got the opportunity to meet Pearl, who played Peter's last companion, really, Bill Potts, and I really liked her. I thought she was brilliant as a companion, much better than the awful Clara Oswald. So that was really cool. That was my first opportunity to meet Pearl Mackie, who played Bill Potts in Peter's final series. And as well as that, I was also really lucky to get the opportunity to meet Matt Lucas as well, which was really cool. Really, really nice bloke. Just genuinely really friendly guy, really happy to meet fans. Wasn't quite sure what he'd be like, but no, he really was a nice bloke. So if you ever get the chance, do catch up with him, because he genuinely is a top guy to meet. Um, and then the other Doctor Who people that month I got a chance to meet, which were amazing. This one, which a lot of people, even Doctor Who fans, probably won't recognise. This chap is Waris Hussein. So I met Waris last year at an event held in Cardiff. Waris was actually the director of the very first episode of Doctor Who, An Unearthly Child, way back in the 60s, with William Hartnell as the Doctor. I mean, how good does the guy look to have been old enough to have directed an episode back in the 60s, and this is him as of last year, Waris Hussein. So that was incredibly cool to get the opportunity to meet Waris. And on the same day at the same event, I also had the opportunity to meet the saviour of Doctor Who, Russell T Davies, as well, which was brilliant. Russell's a really funny guy. Very sadly missed in the echelons of Doctor Who, I think it's fair to say. And people always hope that he might make a comeback someday. But a really nice bloke, and that was really cool to get the opportunity to meet Waris and Russell T at the same event, which was excellent. Skipping on until April now, because I didn't meet anybody through March, unfortunately. But skipping on to April, I was lucky enough to catch Dave Prowse. I've seen Dave at loads of events. Dave obviously is the original Darth Vader, played Darth in most of the sort of original Star Wars films. Met him a few times at events, got autographs and stuff, but never actually did a sort of photo with him. So I was really pleased to grab this, because he pretty much announced his retirement now. He's not doing conventions anymore. He's doing autographs through his website, but that's it. So this was pretty much the last opportunity I would have had to get a photo with him. So I'm really pleased I took the opportunity and did it. I also, at the same Comic Con that I'd gone to, met, oh god, it's Elizabeth Webster, isn't it? Yeah, met Elizabeth Webster, who plays the character. Oh, yeah, Walder Bolton in Game of Thrones. So she's Ewan Rion's, who was the evil Bolton character in Game of Thrones, who had Sansa Stark held captive. She played his wife. So that was really cool. So I got a chance to meet her at the same Comic Con event as well. And I also met the lovely Terry McMinn, who plays Pam in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. So for anyone who's seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, she's the lady who is unfortunately hung up on a meat hook by Leatherface in the original 70s Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. So that was really cool to get the chance to meet Terry as well. I then happened to be in Cardiff again on another day, and Lo and behold, bump into Peter Capaldi again. I think this was like sort of times 7 or 8 now by this point that I'd met Peter. But that was really cool. This was the last time that I got to meet Peter, unfortunately, before he announced his retirement. But again, really cool to meet Peter Capaldi in Cardiff. I then went to a special event in the centre of Cardiff again for a book reading from the author Irvine Welsh, who wrote Trainspotting. And he was reading a chapter from his new book, which is great, by the way. And I managed to get a picture and get some autographs from him as well. So this is me with the awesome Irvine Welsh. I then did a little trip up to London to see a play in London and bumped into Joshua Maguire, who's been in kind of Cinderella, Misfits, and a load of other stuff. He's one of those faces you kind of recognise, but you're never quite sure where you recognise him from. But I knew he was in the play I was going to see anyway, so managed to grab him on the way into the play and get a photo with him. And then at the end of the same play, I also got to see the amazing Mr. Daniel Radcliffe, who I'm pretty sure everybody recognises, everyone knows, but if you don't know who he is, of course, he is Harry Potter. So I managed to meet Harry Potter himself. He actually took the camera off me and took this selfie, which was really cool. So that was a brilliant opportunity to meet Mr. Harry Potter. And that was it for April. Uh, Skipping on to June, I was lucky enough to volunteer at the Champions League final in Cardiff, and met some football superstars, which I'm really pleased about. I absolutely loved. I got to meet Pavel Nedved, who is the former Juventus and Czech Republic footballer, world famous footballer. So pure fluke, bumped into him, just happened to be watching the training game and he was there, so asked him if I could grab a snap, and he looks a bit bewildered, but he was quite happy to do it. I also then, amazingly, you'll never believe this one, met the man who does the pineapple apple pen video on YouTube. I only recognised him because my niece showed me the video. I had no idea who he was, but she'd shown me it a few months before, and I thought it was really funny. We'd watched it a couple of times together, and then he happened to be there, so I managed to grab a snap with Damo Kasaka, also known as the pineapple apple pen dude. I also managed to grab a pic with Alessandro Del Piero, former Italy international, played for Juventus, and that was really cool. Huge superstar in the world of football, so really cool to meet Alessandro Del Piero. My personal favourite from that month was Real Madrid and former Brazilian World Cup winner Roberto Carlos. He was actually doing some commentary, and I was handing out some water to the folks doing the commentary stuff, and spotted him, so grabbed him for a picture, and he was really pleased. He was very happy to take the photo. So yeah, Roberto Carlos, and that was really cool as well. In July, I went to a celebrity golf cup match, and managed to grab a few snaps of some celebrities that were there. I'll skip through these because time's really cracking on now. But the first one was Anton de Beek, really nice guy. The housewife's favourites, Strictly star Anton. So that was quite cool to meet him. Also got the chance to meet. Gareth Edwards, who was a former Welsh rugby international, so probably one of the most famous Welsh rugby internationals. Also got the chance to meet Bradley Walsh, which was really cool. Didn't know at the time he was going to become one of the next Doctor Who companions, so I got a chance to meet him and get a photo with him before he'd actually been announced for Doctor Who, which was really cool. Also got to meet the awesome Rob Brydon, from Gavin and Stacey and hundreds of other things. So really cool to meet Rob, really funny guy, and very pleased with that. Also got to meet the awesome Denise Van Outen. Haven't seen her for years on much, but loved her doing the Big Breakfast and all that kind of stuff during the 90s. Grew up with Denise on TV during the 90s. And this was quite cool. I was really pleased with this one. Got to meet the awesome Ronan Keating as well, and managed to grab a snap with Ronan, which was really cool. So hey, life really is a roller coaster. You never know who you're going to meet when you're out at one of these events. And then I also, weirdly enough, at work, managed to get a photo with Stephen Moffat, who is the outgoing showrunner in Doctor Who. It's a little bit blurry because, as you can see, he's dressed up. He was heading off to a graduation ceremony. But I managed to quickly put my arm around him and grab him for a photo, and he did a little smiley pose, which was cool. So yeah, that was great to meet Stephen Moffat. Okay, we're sort of skipping ahead now for a couple of months. I think we're into November, but I'm going to have to fly through these because I'm running out of time on my timer here. So in November, I went to a Sarah Jane Adventures event and got to meet Tommy Smith, who plays Sarah Jane's son Luke Smith in the Sarah Jane Adventures. I also got to meet Jo Grant, aka Katie Manning, the awesome Jo Grant from the Pertwee era in Doctor Who. I've met her before, but she's lovely. I had to get a photo with her again. And also met the awesome John Leeson, who does the voice for K9 during the Doctor Who series as well. So that was really cool. It's my first time meeting John Leeson. I then went to another event called Geek Fest and got to meet John Levine, who plays Sergeant Benton in unit, so particularly through the John Pertwee era, he was as part of the unit under Brigadier Stewart and the others, so that was really cool. And I also got to meet Chelsea Talmadge as well, who plays Carol in the series Stranger Things. Absolutely love Stranger Things, so that was really cool to get to meet one of the cast from that series. I also got to meet a couple of the guys from Goldie Looking Chain, basically Welsh rap group. That's Eggsy and Reese from Goldie Looking Chain at a beer event that I went to, which was really cool. And also rather randomly bumped into Paul Barber, who's probably best known as Denzel in Only Fools and Horses and Horse in the Full Monty. I just happened to be walking through the streets in Cardiff and bumped into him, which was really cool. So managed to grab a snap from him as well. Uh, also bumped into this chap who probably nobody will know, but his name's Tudley James. He's the director of the ridiculously bizarre Welsh horror film Granny of the Dead, which came out this year, and it's bonkers. It's worth watching if you get a chance to buy it on DVD. But he's also done another film recently that's due out this year called Survivors, another zombie film, and I'm actually in it, and I'm a zombie in it, which is quite cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing that at some point. So I bumped into him in the centre of Cardiff as well. And then I also went to a Weekend of the Dead event in Manchester and got to meet Laurie Cardeal, who plays Sarah in the third instalment of the George Romero horror trilogy, to that point anyway, Day of the Dead. Which is probably my least favourite of the three, but it's still a great film. I also got to meet Galen Ross, who plays Fran in Dawn of the Dead, which is my personal favourite, the middle film set in the shopping mall, and I absolutely love her character in it, so that was really cool to get to meet her. And then I also got a double shoot with Russ Striner and Judith O'Day, who play Barbara and Johnny in the original Night of the Living Dead from the 60s. So they are the two original cast members from Night of the Living Dead way back in the 60s, and I managed to grab a snap with them, which was awesome. I was so pleased with that. So that was really cool. And that's November. We're nearly done, folks. And finally, for December, I got my second opportunity to meet Zach Galligan at a Q&A screening of Gremlins. That was really cool. I was pretty much first in the queue to grab a pic with him. So we watched the film for Gremlins. It was about £8 for a ticket. And then you got a Q&A with Zach Galligan afterwards and got to grab a photo with him. He plays Billy, the main character in the original Gremlins film and the Gremlins sequel as well, which was really cool. I then also met the amazing Samantha Womack, formerly Samantha Janus. She was in EastEnders. I think she played Ronnie Mitchell. Someone will probably correct me. I'm sure it wasn't Roxy. I'm sure she was Ronnie Mitchell. Absolutely lovely. She was doing panto in Cardiff, and I managed to catch her sort of between shows, really, and she was quite happy to come and grab a snap with me, which was brilliant. And also at the same show, I managed to get a photo with Gareth Thomas, also known as Alfie, a former Welsh rugby international. Pretty sure he was in maybe I'm a Celebrity or something like that. I don't think it was Celebrity Big Brother. I think it was I'm a Celebrity. So yeah, managed to grab a snap with him as well as a Welshman and a big rugby fan. That was really cool to get this awesome former Welsh rugby international. And that is it for 2017. Those are all the people I met during the last year. Some really cool people, as I'm sure you'll agree, and I'm hoping for loads more cool stuff and cool meetings and autographs, etc. for 2018. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it's been particularly long, but hope to catch you all again really soon at the end of January for the January autograph update. Cheers, please like, subscribe, comment, anything else, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye!